Hey, everybody! Whoop, turn that off quickly, faster. I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. We have the game preview for game number 8 of the season. That quickly, first 10th of the season, is here and almost gone. So I've got a preview for you, which will include stats for the game, lineups, and other stuff, too. I have also got some news. All Habs related. Yeah, all Habs related. I do have a poem from one of the the viewers. Bob's your uncle. I got that, and then I wrote something just before we got on air. I had like 10 minutes, and I wrote a little response poem to that. So hopefully you guys will like that. That's all coming up right here. And before we get to that, there's no comments. But if you are here, please say hi. Leave a comment, ask me a question. We can chat as we go along, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. So like I said, it's the game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets. They're in town. Montreal's ahead of them in the standings by a point, so very close. Even their you'll see by their stats, not too far off. So I think this is a good game for Montreal. I got to do the Guess the Score contest, and I didn't do it. I'm going to do it while we talk. So the Guess the Score contest, right now you can do that if you guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game, and you can pick that guy from either side. You would win the prize. You have to be, though, the first person with that guess here in the chat. And if you do those things, then you would win $10 directly into your bank account via Interac. And I'm going to go with, I'll give you my guess right now. I'm trying to remember the numbers there. I'm going to go with 4-3 Montreal. The first goal scorer. Why not? He's back tonight. That's not the first item I had for tonight, but we're going to go with it. Caden Gooley back in the lineup tonight, and I'm going to give him the first goal. Why not? Caden Gooley back in the lineup, 100% healthy. It sounds awesome. That's why it took a little longer than we all thought, is they were waiting for him to be 100%. Not like, so-so, but 100%. We have some comments. Let's see who's here. Wonder Phil is here. First question, too. How's it going, Wonder Phil? The words aren't coming out. Wonder Phil is here. How's it going, Phil? It's really wonderful to be here. Nice. Lucas. Hey, Lucas, how's it going, man? Let's keep our winning ways and making teams take second look at us. I think there's a good shot for Montreal to win here tonight. So when that's the case, I'm always going to pick Montreal. And I don't like Winnipeg because I think he's their captain. And the guy on the thumbnail, Mark Scheifele. I'm going to go back there for a second. So look at this thumbnail. Look at Mark Scheifele. He's a big guy. I mean, he's next to Caulfield, but he's a big guy. And he just looked like a big, dumb guy with a big body and just dumb. I don't like Mark Scheifele anymore, so. All right, so I've got some items. Oh, I was talking to people. Mary Jo, awesome. How's it going, Mary Jo? Habs 4, Jets 2, Slav, because he will soon. I don't disagree with that. That's a good pick. Habs Guru. Hey, Guru, how's it going, man? And Guru's got 5-3, and he's got Scheifele. Yeah, shame on you with Scheifele. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Up early due to wanting to watch the Rugby World Cup final. All Blacks versus Springboks, New Zealand and South Africa. Now, I'm going to just tell everybody out there who may be racist or maybe doesn't understand. All Blacks doesn't mean they're all black people. It's the color of the uniform. Am I right about that, Joe? Please tell me I'm right. We had, wasn't the Ottawa team in the CFL basically called the All Blacks? No, something like that, though. Hey, J-Ved, stop talking before you get in trouble, Rick. 5-3 Winnipeg. Connor with the first goal. The guy he's the cousin of the star quarterback that everyone's got to like because of the star quarterback. That's what he looks like. But, Kyle Connor with the first goal. Joe says, Habs 5-4. Suzuki first goal. Nice. Phil says 6-3 Habs. Galley, of course, with a hat trick, including the first. You're just going to play that one out till it happens, right? Just play it out. Oh, it was the Red Blacks for Ottawa. Okay, it was close. No better if it's skin color. Right? But the same thing with Ottawa, red and black uniforms. They were the Red Blacks. So I'm assuming it's the same thing here. I'm going to shut up now before I get in any trouble with that. All right, we'll get to some news. We got some record-setting news here. Fewest games to 6 overtime goals, not just in Habs history, in the NHL history, and that belongs to Cole Caulfield. And he didn't just break that, he smashed it by 60 games. Cole Caulfield in 130 games got the 6 OT goals, and Braden Point is next at 190 games. And then Frank Finnegan there is listed at 192. Now, Frank Finnegan's feat is kind of impressive because that's an old-time hockey player, and he did that when basically overtime games were only in the playoffs. That's impressive. But it doesn't beat Cole Caulfield. So Cole Caulfield, and he's going to add a few more of those, I think, this season. So good on Cole for that. Next up, Pierre Turgeon. He'll be honored in a special presentation. I don't know for what, though. I think he's getting into the honor circle in the Bell Center. There's an honor circle there. I think that's what it is. That's on November 14th, and it'll be Montreal hosting Calgary that night. So, I mean, if you're local and you want to go, that's something. But, you know, that's a player that wasn't here long, played well, and then got traded. And it was a bad trade because we got back Shane Corson, who I love Shane Corson. But it wasn't a good Shane Corson. It was an old Shane Corson, and it was a baffling trade. It's almost you want to think, I don't know who did the trade. I can't remember back exactly who did it. You almost think the GM got paid off to do that. Like there's something anyway. So he's getting honored, so that's a good thing. Next up, Habs prospect that came back to play last night. And that is Lane Hudson returned to the Boston or the BU, I'm going to say, lineup last night. He said he wasn't 100%. See, this is something. He said he wasn't 100%, but was good enough to play. That's not going to happen here anymore. So he won't be able to do that when he gets here, but he was able to do that there. He had 1 goal, 2 assists, and was crazy good. And I guess he was good enough to play, sending guys into the abyss with his insane puck handling and edges. Matt was at the game, and hoping either he'll be at the stream with me, or he's going to make a little video, and he's going to talk about that. So hopefully we'll have that tonight, the first intermission. So check out the Hangout tonight for that. All right. This is another reminder of the hypocritical NHL. So this is a sign. I don't know where this is, the Cheshire Cat. So NHL stars can promote gambling to you, me, and kids, but can't bet. Yeah, a little hypocritical, isn't it? Let's see. Next up, this is just that's Thomas Plekanec. He's retiring from hockey and from his Kladno team mid-season due to some kind of health issue that's undisclosed. So Thomas Plekanec, great player. I don't think he was elite, but he was great. And he spent most of his career here, 606 points, I think, in his career. 608, but 606 of them in Montreal. Then we sent him to Toronto for a very short period of time. I'm sure he hated it, and he didn't do much over there, but he's retiring. I hope he's going to be fine. And like I said, they didn't disclose the illness. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, we're down near the end of this here. So I was going to announce Caden Cooley's back, but I did that already. Before the preview, I'm going to see what the comments are. Then I'm going to do the poem. Comments. Hey, Bob, you're here. Bob's your uncle. All right. I'm going to do your poem in a minute. Let's see. Where was I? Schwartz means black. No, it's Schwartz, but yeah, it means black. Let's all read more or grow thicker skin. Also, eat more smoked meat. Schwartz, yeah, I mean, basically, what Schwartz is, I mean, that's their last name is like, someone with last name Black. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Really, what it means, I know what it sounds like, but it means black plow horse. I've heard him say that. So, but the Schwartz is black, yes. Will the Habs retire his signature turtleneck to the rafters? Yeah, if they do, they won't though. He's not getting retired, but that would be funny. He's a decade younger than Jagger. Can't keep up with the old Jagger. Amazing. It's health reasons, dude. I don't think you want to come down on a guy for, even as a joke. I don't think that's funny. Sorry, but I don't think so. All right. We're going to this. Everybody knows, should by now, I write a lot of I can't speak. I write a lot of poetry. So, recently, Sofka sent me one written by that he had AI write about the show. I read that. Bob's Your Uncle sent me one. I had it. I didn't read it. I forgot I'm old, remember. So I got it. I'm going to read it now. And then I wrote a little response to it. It's very short. And hope you guys like both of them because this is really good. It's a little long, but it's really good. All right. So it's called The New Season. And it's by Bob's Your Uncle. It's soon time to dig out the old hockey gear. Check the shin pads and elbows. It's that time of year. My skates need new laces and gloves kind of ratty. My Sherwood's banged up. Will it get me a hattie? Will still get me a hattie, excuse me. Of sweat and of beer, my old sweater stinks. You'll notice me flying at all the best rinks. At center, the ref, his arm lifted up. Is this the year we bring home the cup? On the fresh sheet of ice, the players look manly. Another new season in the hunt for Lord Stanley. The fans will all scream in joy and delight every single time there is a big fight. The new kid we got, he plays real hard. Reminds me a little of Rocket Richard. Our captain got traded to some other town, but nobody cared when the Zamboni broke down. We got to the playoffs, and you think I'm a liar. Knocked off the Bruins, the Caps, and the Flyers. So it's off to the finals. We so happily strode. This is the season we sweep Toronto. The Leafs were the faves to win the big prize with so many stars. Could they capitalize? It went back and forth. The team's very even. Could it possibly mean there'd be a game 7? No, 7. The Leafs again lost. With hardly a tussle. The media all screamed. It's the curse of Phil Kessel. In our dreams, we all win. We all measure up. There's no better dream than hoisting the cup. Anyone can win. There need be no reason. It can all happen in the new season. That's pretty awesome. Bob's Your Uncle, that's pretty awesome. So you'll hear why I like that so much in my poem. So this is my response to the poem. I just read a poem. Bob's Your Uncle penned it. It was really good. Glad to me he did send it. So good, in fact, it gave me bumps like a goose because it sounded a lot like a book from Dr. Seuss. How the words flowed and the rhyme pattern written sounds like Dr. Seuss had me totally smitten. Send me your poems. You can, did you know? And I'll read them right here on the show. We all can enjoy them. A pleasure to hear. We'll clap our enjoyment and raise up our beer. So send them along to the email down there. If it's good enough, it will make it to air. And that's my response. Thanks, Bob's Your Uncle. I really appreciate that. That was really good. Also, thanks to Savka, who also sent me one. And yeah, so if you have anything you want to send it to me, I'm very happy to receive them. Sorry, just getting a text from Matt. I'm trying to see what he's saying. Yeah, okay, he's just talking about Luke Tuck. Yeah, so that was really cool. And that was a really good poem. And I'm not a joke. That I was reading it, I'm going, it almost sounds like I wrote this, and I know I didn't write this, but I realized because it's got the same flow like Dr. Seuss that I love so much. So really liked it. And anytime you guys want to send me a poem, yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's good enough, it'll make it to air. So awesome. Thank you. That's it. I'll talk in the chat here a little bit, and then I'm going to get to the preview for the game. We'll do that right now. By the way, this might be the new time for the show. I kind of like it much better at 1 gives me a little more time. So there you go. Oh, there's Safka. Hey, Safka, good to see you. I just mentioned you. Let's see now. Let's get down here. Phil says not putting down Plek, not him. Yager's just from another planet. Exactly. Poetry slam. I knew you would say that, Phil. I knew you would say that. It's kind of why I did that. I was like 12 minutes to go to the show. And I thought, I should do 12 minutes. I did that in 6 minutes. It's not to brag, but I didn't think I would make it, So it's not the best. It's because I did that in 6 minutes. So I'm pretty proud of myself, though, for being able to do that. And I think we found another poet. And listen, if we get poems, I'll do either a live stream or we'll do a regular video. And I'll read you guys poems. I'll add some of mine and we'll have a poetry night. I know Phil is definitely into that. And so am I. Definitely, I want to make sure you guys know I wouldn't be jealous of any, that was a good poem. And I'll read them and celebrate everybody. And maybe down the road, we could all get we'll get a book together of everybody's poetry. I'm talking Habs. We'll see how that would work out. I don't know how that would work out with so many different authors. But right now, we only have two. One is AI and one is Bob's Your Uncle. So, that's just really awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. I mean, if you couldn't tell. Hey, Safka. Yeah, listen, chat. Listen, AI is good for that kind of stuff. I personally don't think I'm ever going to write anything with AI. I mean, I'm a writer now. I think I'm able to write what I need. If I ever get stuck that badly, maybe. But I mean, it's an awesome tool as long as it's not abused. But something like that, it's not an abuse. So, I mean, if you did that, put that out as your own, made money on that, would be abusive if you ask me, but you're not doing that. So, and listen, it was a good poem. It was a good poem. And I didn't read it here because I had already read it and I had forgotten to read Bob's and then I wrote something. So there you go. And Bob's Your Uncle, thank you for writing that and sending that to me. I appreciate that. Lucas says, I like this show. Gives us a little break to all relax before we scream at the refs all game. Yeah, listen, if I could do it every game, I would, but during the week's really hard. But Saturdays, yeah, this works for me. And I wasn't sure because 12 o'clock was a little early. 1 o'clock's a lot better. So I think I'm going to keep it here at 1. And I like it a lot better. Joe, yeah, I haven't made. You know what? I don't make bloopers. I make them rarely, and usually if I make them, it's when I'm doing a voiceover, and so I can't really use that the same. I don't know how to cut those yet. But yeah, I love the bloopers, and I try to on a show like this, 3 shows today, so I have 3 of them that are in the time frame that you're allowed. So every show today's got one. But yeah, I love bloopers. I don't make enough anymore, but I love them because I love showing that side of it and that side of me, I guess. I have no problem with that, but showing that side of what we do, us creators. It's just that I've gotten to the point, I guess, because I started out, I was doing everything kind of live. Even when I was filming, I couldn't make mistakes. And it's gotten to the point I don't make too many mistakes anymore. So what can I say? It does happen sometimes, but it's not really on camera. If it does, I try to keep them, but I haven't made any. But I do love them. Joe, if you're like me, I didn't try to do it purposely, but if you're like me, it's probably gonna happen. Listen, if you're not a poet, you're not a poet, and you shouldn't beat yourself up over it. Maybe you can write. Listen, if you, I have a website. If anybody wants to write an article type of thing, let me know, and we can arrange to get that up on the website. So if you want to do that, I'm good with that too. I would like to encourage in this community, if anybody wants to have a voice, if I can do anything about it, I will try to help. No, I've used the bloopers for the live show too. So, John, the opposite for me, it's the morning. By 1 o'clock, I've done my best work. I'm up early, and I find when I'm writing a script or whatever, I really work, like, I accomplish it in the morning. By the time it gets to late afternoon, I don't accomplish as much, unless there's a show to do and I've got stuff. I mean, if I have a timeline or a deadline, that's different. But in general, yeah, I'm a morning person. What can I say? Not that I'm not up late, but I don't. I shouldn't say that though. Sometimes I get an idea 1, 2 in the morning, and I write, and I start writing, and it's like 4 in the morning when I go to bed, and I've actually written something. So I guess it depends, but mostly it's in the morning. Well, that's good, Lucas. But I mean, yeah, it's for everybody. During the week, I wouldn't get. I mean, I'm trying to build the audience here for this one because there's potential, but during the week, there's probably not that much, for it. That's why I'm gonna probably do more of those preview videos. Do it as a video instead of the 15 minutes before the game. I kind of like doing that. So, and again, I thought, yeah, I might get some bloopers there. Let's put it that way. I might get some. I didn't the last time. I didn't make a mistake. I had to edit out something, but it wasn't because it was a mistake. The mistake I made was doing the thing without putting the overlay up. So I had to redo it, but no blooper. So unfortunately, but if I ever get an opportunity to do stuff outside of this because of this, I think I'll be kind of prepared to be able to do it without a lot of mistakes and shit. So I think I've trained myself, hopefully, in that way. Yeah, Bob, you know what I do though? I don't work that way, but you're doing the right thing. Once I've got the first line or two, sometimes it's one line, sometimes it's two. But if I get two or a verse, depending on how I'm rhyming, yeah, I'm off. I don't need anything more than that. I'll go from there. So I don't prepare much. But I think out the next line or two or three or whatever, and blah blah blah, and I go from there. I write it line by line, sometimes 2 lines at a time, sometimes a whole verse, but I don't go farther than that. I'm not the most, like, I don't think I could write a book because I don't think it out far enough. But I kind of react to my own writing. I have an idea. I kind of have an idea where I want to go, and it's a journey to see if I get there or where I get. That's how I put it. Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach Jim. And if you want proof of that, just look to the States and Jim Jordan. That's the only politics I'll get to. It was a line on the Bill Maher show. It was funny at the time. Matt's in the room. Lane Hudson is good at hockey. Been coming soon. Awesome, Matt. I told them about it already. Phil says, I myself prefer to inspire. Phil is a muse. He's inspired a lot of my poetry. Not so much recently. It's not Phil's fault though, but especially I would say I got to credit Phil to probably pushing me to writing more to the point where now I'm a writer. So, and I've told a lot of people already, Phil, that you were my muse. So yeah, Phil inspires. Yeah, Joe, you wouldn't like to know my sleep pattern. It's not very healthy, probably, but yeah, it's what it is. If you want to write, the only advice because I'm not. I mean, I'm a very minor writer. The only advice I would give anybody is to just do it. And I would give that to myself, because a lot of times I hesitate because I don't think I've got anything. And then I sit down and I write. Next thing I know, I got 3-4 pages. And where did that come from? So, yeah, my advice is, if you want to do it, sit down and do it. You will either be able to or you won't. If you're able to, you're a writer. If you're not a writer, and it doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with that. I went, 55 years before I realized I was a writer. Kind of 56. It took a first year. Yeah. Now I realize I can be a writer. I wish I would have discovered that 30 years ago, but what are you going to do? Have I ever been to Winnipeg? Asked Suvka. I have never been to Winnipeg. How do Canadians perceive that city? I'm going to use probably 2 words. And I think for everybody here is Canadian in the room, probably would agree with me. And I'm going to say cold in the winter, probably all year. Cold and boring. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, I've never lived there. It's probably like any other city, but it's not a major city. It doesn't get as much as some of the bigger cities do, but there are 2 words. Phil, but that's not for everybody, right? For me and you, it's morning is better, but I mean, it doesn't. Some people it's afternoon, some people it's nighttime. It's everybody's different. You find your best time, and you're more productive in that time. It's not that I can't write at any other time. It's just I'm more productive in the morning. Lucas, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Thank you. That's what they're for. It's just to prepare you for the game. Any news that's out there, so when you start to watch the game, you know what's going on. That's my goal. You know what's going on. You know the stats. You know what's happening. You're ready for the game. It's high praise, Phil. High praise. Now, listen, it's the truth. The story of Rick doesn't happen without you, because you. And if I don't write that, then I don't write that Goes to Habs Past, which I think could be better, but it's pretty good. And I don't embark on this journey that have gotten me to here, where I'm a lot more confident in my writing. My problem is I hesitate, I procrastinate on the writing. That's the ADHD in me. That's all. I could be more, what's the word? Prolific, but I'm not. I would like to be more prolific. I've discovered, though, I can sit down like I did today in 6 minutes, and I wrote a 6-verse poem. I can do that. So that means I can write whatever I need to. I've been writing different things, different kinds of scripts. Yeah, I've gotten a lot more confidence in my writing, and I do credit a lot of that to Phil. Also, my own work, but I mean, Phil pushed me to that. He literally, and if you think I'm joking, I'm not. Phil literally pushed me to being a writer, and I thank him for that. Phil and I have been communicating, now texting, but on emails a lot. So that's why, it's not stuff you see here. All right, we're going to get to the preview now. I got a few things to say during the preview, I imagine. So I noticed not a lot of people making any guesses for the guess the score. Don't bother doing that in the game. Do it here. Guess the score contest. Guess the score of the game, the first goal scorer of the game, and you can pick that guy. Doesn't matter what team. If you get that right and you're the first person in this chat with that guess, you win the prize. It's a lot for just a $10 prize directly in your bank account. But you know what? It's $10. It's not that bad for making a guess, So it's I think it's fun for most people. So, but you got to do that. I noticed not a lot of guesses, but you don't have to, but you got to do it here. It's funny you say that. Is that Joe that says that? Joe. No, where is that? No, it's Phil saying that. Okay. And I'm ashamed there's a little bit of dust on this. I got this for Christmas 2 years ago. I don't use it enough, and I look at it all the time and say I should use that, but that's what this is. It's a little mini recorder, and you just talk into it, and this was my idea. I asked for this, and I don't use it enough. But this is a great idea for anybody who wants to write, and you're not at your desk or you're not where you can write. You just talk into this, and then transcribe after. And like he says, just play it into some things, and they'll transcribe it. And a lot of the voice programs are pretty good now. You can hear them mispronounce some words, but you couldn't tell if you didn't hear those and you're not picking it up. You can't tell. The voices are so human now. You can just do that, and you could write, and a lot of people are doing that and putting that up on and making videos from that. I don't work that way. I'm old fashioned. I don't work that way, and I want to get into using this more. It would help me because I write a lot of shit in my head, and then by the time I'm able to write it down, sometimes I'm sitting here. By the time I write it all down, it's gone. That would help a lot, and I don't use it enough. That was my son, my youngest, bought that for me. Joe, you listen. If you are good enough and you are a writer and you're writing, you just make your schedule around that. I mean, that's basically what I do. I've got my schedule around the games now. Even in the summer, my schedule is kind of like that. So, like the season started, my schedule didn't really change. Like nighttime, like when you go to bed or when you eat, whatever, that hasn't changed. It's just what I do during the day has changed. But I'm still on the same weird schedule. I think it's MP3s. I know maybe it's MP4s this thing puts out, but it puts out really good quality stuff. I don't use it to, in the video. It's just if I want to remember something, that's all. Yeah, well, there's an SD card in it, 32 gig. Yep. I mean, I can hold a ton of me talking. Safka says 4-3 Habs. Caulfield, first goal. Nice. I got 4-3 Habs too. I got 4-3 Habs. Gooley's returning tonight. I'm giving him the first goal. I'm being generous. I'm just giving it to him. He just has to get on the ice and score it. MP4 is video, eh? So this is MP3. And like I said, you play it back. It's got good sound. You can understand. It's not like a weird, hard to understand sound that plays back. All right, let's get to the preview before I bore everybody to death. All right, we're starting with this game here. Winnipeg at Montreal. Winnipeg is 4-3-0. Montreal is 4-2-1. What an amazing start for Montreal. Start time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. In Canada, you can see it on City TV in English, TVA Sports in French. That's it. It's just on City TV, not even on TSN or Sportsnet. Streaming, though, ESPN Plus and Sportsnet Plus, which is my Sportsnet now. It's what it is. So that's where I'm watching it. I'll be everybody watching on City TV. I'm going to be behind you by a good 30 seconds, probably. Nothing I can do. Season series, they're playing tonight, and then they play December 18th in Winnipeg. Last 10 games, they have played only 7, but 4-2-1, like I said, for Montreal, on a one-game winning streak. It's not a streak, but they won their last game. Winnipeg, 4-3-0 on a 3-game streak, so that is a streak, and that says that they had a rough start and are playing better right now, is what it says to me. Tail of the tape. Scoring chances for percentage, 48.3% for Montreal. They're 20th in the league, 54.4% for the Jets. That's 5th. I think that's a possession kind of stat. So Jets are a little bit better at holding on to the puck, I guess. Goals per game, 3.14 for Montreal, 14th. 3.43 for the Jets, that's 12th. Goals against per game, 3.29 for Montreal, 20th, and 3.43 for the Jets, 24th. So they're giving up as many goals as they're scoring. So in other words, the Jets are vulnerable, and Montreal is scoring. They're scoring some goals, so could be a good combo for Montreal. Power play percentage 20.7%, 14th in the league for Montreal. I think what Marty St. Louis is doing, because he's got a hand in that now, and they have a better power play. It sucks at times and looks really good at times. And I think that's the result of Marty St. Louis. So now 20.7, that's good, decent to good power play. 14.8% for the Jets, 21st. So they're still struggling there. That's not good. PK percentage, 73% for Montreal, 25th, and that needs to be better. And 74.1% for the Jets, 21st. So very close on the penalty kill. So Montreal being, scoring some power play goals, we likely will see 1 or 2 power play goals if they get the power plays tonight. Head-to-head last year, 1-0-1. It's Montreal's record, and 1-1-0 for the Jets, so they were each 1-1. Face-offs, 46.6% for the Jets, 27th, and 53% even for Montreal, and that's dropped them down to 8th. So they're dropping, but 53%, still a good number. Shots on goal and shots on goal allowed per game. The numbers are inverted because TSN is stupid. I think it's TSN. It could be the NHL, one of the two. It's like 4 years now. So shots on goal allowed per game, 29.6 for Winnipeg, 35.3 for Montreal. So Montreal giving up a lot more shots than Winnipeg is. Shots on goal per game, 32 for Winnipeg, 28.7 for Montreal. So they're a little Winnipeg gets more shots on goal and gives up less shots on goal. Players to watch over the last 5. For points, Morrissey, the defenseman, with 4 for Winnipeg, and Caulfield with 7 for Montreal. Goals, Connor with 2. It says Caulfield with 2, and that is wrong. He's got 4. So I don't know if Connor's got 2. These are not good. If they're not right, I apologize. Assists, Morrissey with 3 and Caulfield with 5. That is right. And plus minus, Iafallo plus 3, as does have David Savard, who is out indefinitely and not in this game. Team leaders in goals, Kyle Connor with 5 and Cole Caulfield with 4, like I said. Points, Mark Scheifele with 7, but so does Connor and so does someone else. And Caulfield has 9. Average time on ice, Morrissey, 24-37 for the Jets, and Matheson, who's like really playing well, 26 minutes even. And wins, Connor Hellebuck with 4, Jake Allen with 2. I do know Jake Allen is in nets. Hellebuck has played in 7 games this season. Jets have played 7 games this season. Dare say we see Brossois, the backup? I have a feeling. I don't know. I don't have anything official. Jets, top 5 scoring. Connor, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. Scheifele, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. Morrissey, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. Mason Appleton, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. And Dylan DeMello, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. For Montreal, top 5, Cole Caulfield leading the way. 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points plus 2. Sean Monahan, 3 and 3. For 6 points plus 4. Nick Suzuki getting up there now. 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. He's though -3. Tanner Pearson, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points plus 3. And Mike Matheson, 2 goals, 3 assists. That's for 5 points and -1. And Matheson's 2 goals are they both power play goals, but they're really like nice goals. Walk in like through the defense and score. So Matheson hot right now. The Atlantic Division standings from the top to the bottom. Bruins leading the way again. Goddamn Bruins. Red Wings, Leafs, Lightning, Canadians, Panthers, Senators, and Sabres. And Habs are 4 points out of first and only 1 point behind the Leafs and the Lightning. So Leafs fans can go suck it. overall standings. Montreal is sitting in 14th place right now. In 14th place, you got just immediately above them Stars, Kings, Flyers, Devils, and behind them the Jets that were playing tonight. And it's kind of a 2-point game here, 3-point game here tonight. Is that what it is? 4-point game? Is that what they call it tonight? Something like that. The Jackets, the Wild, and the Islanders also behind them. Let's see, goalies tonight. So, like I said, I know it's Jake Allen. He's 2-0-1, 2.58 goals against, 9.29 save percentage. Monty will be backing him up. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Brossois because Hellebuyck, he's been in 6 games. I thought it was 7. He's been in 6 games. It's the Habs. Do they play Brossois? I don't know. I'll give them both. Hellebuyck, 4-2-0, 2.99 goals against, 8.99 save percentage. So that's not a good save percentage for what some consider the best goalie in the league. Brossois, 0-1-0, 4.04 goals against, 8.46 save percentage. So suckier. We'll see who comes out. Just for hell of it, Monty, his stats are 2-1-0, 3.29, and a 9.01 save percentage. So 9.01, that came up, and 3.29, that's come down a little bit. So Monty getting there. Jets forward lines. These are from the last game. I don't know if these are accurate. I can't get them until they come out. Scheifele centering Connor and Iafallo, which is a pretty good line. Second line is Nemesnikov with Perfetti and Ehlers on his wings. Not a bad line right there, too. Lowry and Niederreiter and Appleton make up the third line, and the fourth line is Kupari, Barron, so Justin Barron's brother Morgan, and David Gustafsson. So not the Gustafsson that played here. That's their forward line. Well, he would be a defenseman anyway, Rick, you idiot. Forward lines for Montreal, Suzuki, Caulfield, and Harvey Pinard back in there. These lines were released today, this morning. I hope they're accurate. Newhook, Anderson, Slavkovsky, Monahan, Pearson, Gallagher, Evans, Ullinen, Pezzetta. And according to the lines that I saw, they have not moved Slavkovsky to the first power play unit. I don't know why. Defensive pairings, Morrissey and DeMello, Dillon and Pionk, and Sandberg and Schmidt for the Jets. For Montreal, this I don't know. Caden Gooley's going to be in the lineup. If it was like the last time, we'll have Matheson and Barron. He wasn't there, but Savard. He's in place of Savard. They're playing well, so I think they'll keep that. Gooley, Kovacevic, Jack-Eye, and Harris. That's how I think it'll play out. These lines are not right with Gooley coming back. And that's it. Oh, I got it all. Look at that. Got it all. That's the preview. Let's see. Not only 3 comments. Did everybody leave me? No. All right. So now it's time to talk here in the chat. We got, I'll go 17 minutes or so. What do you guys say? Sportsnet has Brossois confirmed. So I did not know that. So my instincts were right. 6 out of the first 7 games for Hellebuyck. You're playing a team that is definitely not going to be a top team in the league. You play your backup. That made sense to me. Did you hear something about Perfetti wants to trade? Did not hear that. I did not hear that. He's in Winnipeg. Not a shocker. Right? I don't know what else to say. A good player and all that. Somebody, if he wants to trade, they'll get a good return, I would think, for him. But who wants to play in Winnipeg? Kind of. And it's not to put Winnipeg down. Never been there, can't say. But I know that's the prevailing thought, really. Right? You play in Winnipeg when you can't play somewhere else, kind of. I think. Or you got no choice because you're traded there. You're there. You got a contract. He's an RFA when his ELC expires, so I don't think he's got much leverage. Why would a team want to trade away a young kid like that? Just because he asks out. He has to just grow a pair and, get through it. Problem is, you got Pierre-Luc Dubois maybe leading the way for this kind of shit, right? Is that players can just demand their way out. Bob's your uncle. Habs 3, Jets 2, Monahab with the first goal. Good guess. Ulanen, healthy scratch. They're finally putting Yoel Armia in. I wonder why these lineups I saw were released if it wasn't accurate. That makes sense, though. I mean, Armia, former Jet. They'd like to trade Armia. Good game, potentially, to put him in the lineup for him to have a good game. I mean, obviously, at this point, Armia is being showcased. We know this. We know they've been negotiating. They were talking to Washington. We know this. Maybe this is part of the negotiations with Washington. They want to see him play. They see him play. They go, yeah, all right, we'll do this deal. That could happen. Gonna be the one time this year, probably, or maybe the first time in a while that, yeah, I agree. Armia should be in the lineup. What else we got? You ask me, and I'm going to tell you whether I know or not. No, I don't lie if I don't know something. I tell you I don't know. And if I do, whatever I've heard, I don't make things up. I'm not top shelf hockey. And nothing against the guy, but people like to mention him in my chats a lot. I don't make things up like that. If I've heard it, I've heard it. If I haven't, I'll give you my opinion on something, but that's it. So ask away. I don't know. You guys hear that? Crickets. I hear crickets. I got to get that sound so I could play it. Anyway, listen, if you don't want to talk to me, at least give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then you'll get notified when things are happening around here. And things will be happening a little more. I'll remind you guys, podcast is being filmed this week. So we're doing a video podcast. It's coming out on Halloween. We will be dressed up. I can tell you what I'm coming as because you'll never guess how I'm doing it. I'm coming as 100% pure Canadian beef. Figure out how I'm doing that. I don't know what the other boys are doing. But yeah, we're going to be dressed up. It's coming out on Tuesday. We're filming it before the game tomorrow. On Monday, before the pregame show. I'm doing that, doing a pregame show, and then the game at 10 o'clock. So it's going to be a busy Monday night. But hopefully you guys will check out the live streams and the podcast and take a look at it on video. But it'll also be available still on audio, so no worries if you prefer that. You will listen to it on audio. No, actually, I haven't microdosed in about 2 weeks. So I don't microdose very much now. The microdoses have done their job, and I don't really think about it. So I know I don't need them. When I think about it, I do them, but I don't really think about it much. So I don't need them. I recommend them to anybody though, because it did its job. Although not officially recommend because it's illegal in Canada. But if you're an adult and you can get them, Bob's your uncle asked me, after seeing the Habs play 7 games, what changes to the roster would I make to improve the roster? Call up from Laval or a realistic trade to address a weakness? I say this. Why are they're not at a stage where they need to improve the roster? What they need to do is develop players, right? So the changes to the roster I would make is get rid of Armia to permanently open up that spot. And I'm not necessarily, I'm not saying promote Roy yet. I think down the road, in the season that could happen, but I wouldn't do it for a while yet. But I mean, that's basically it. Is get the kids more experience, um, uh, experience and improve, and keep moving towards that goal of being a contender. That's how they'll improve the roster. I don't think making trades, bringing in free agents, blah blah blah, is not the route they're on. They're on a route of developing their winning team from within, from drafting, and from that. Yes, they will make other moves to, to tweak here and there. I get that. And at some point, when they feel they're ready, they'll make that big move. But this is not the year. This is not the year. And especially with Kirby Doc out, there's no need. As much as I want them to be winners and all that stuff, they're not ready there. They got to do it in the right time frame. So, yeah, just promote from within when the spots open up and give these guys the experience and development they need. Does that answer the question? I hope so. Well, Joe, it's just that you don't know how I'm doing it. It's not that weird. I'm going to tell you, quite frankly, it's not that weird. I think it's just a little bit, it's kind of creative, sort of creative, not all that much when you see it, but yeah, just try to figure it out. You'll have to wait. I'll be wearing it for the pregame. I'm going to be doing a pregame show for the Vegas game. I'll be wearing it for that. Hey, Doug, how's it going? 3-2 Habs, Armia first goal. You know what? That would be great. And why? Get them traded sooner. That's what I think. So, yeah, if Armia comes out as a great game, that doesn't mean, we're going to hang on to that. He's not in their plans. That means it makes it easier for him to be traded. So let's hope for a good game from Armia. Yikes. And we'll see. Bob, I figured you'd agree with that. I mean, listen, it's not to say, I make sense all the time, but that makes sense what I said. So I think anyway. As Sufka, then you're not microdosing, right? If you keep doing that, right? Microdosing is a thing. You got to keep in that boundary, and it works. But no, if you're doing that to get high, it's not the right reason. And I stopped doing that because I was kind of doing that a little bit, although I didn't go over the boundaries really. And now, if I do it, it's not about that. It's about something else, and it works. Every now and then you do. Like, I like it if I get a little bit. If I get just a little bit, that's perfect. But if I get too much, I don't really enjoy it. So it's not, like I said, it's not about that. Joe, I think my original guess, and I think I'm going to stick to that, even with Doc out, I think they're capable to finish somewhere between 10, 11, or 12. They're somewhere in there. That was my guess. Does that put them a few more than a couple of spots out? But, I think they might be good enough to make a run for a certain amount of time. I just don't think it's going to go deep into the year. But I think for a while, they're going to probably make a run at it. Sometime around my birthday, which is mid-February, they start to fall off. Maybe before, maybe a little after. That's what I think. Yeah, and Bob, on top of that, you've got guys like, say, Elaine Hudson, who probably hits Montreal and doesn't go down. You've got, you've got these guys in the pipeline that are coming in the next couple of years. There's no need to go, unless injuries dictate that they have to, there's no need for them to go and pick up anybody else. Not right now. Or unless a situation comes up where they can't turn it down. They get offered something and they got to take it. I mean, I can see that. But, I mean, if that happens, I don't think it would. But, but they've got so much. Like you say, they don't know fully what they've got. They got to find out. Automatic. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Been a while. Happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday. I hope the Habs make you happy today. Happy birthday. Seriously, that's nice. Plus, you live in Winnipeg. All right. We'll be at the bar watching at the bar. JA first goal. Who's JA? I'm trying to think now. I can't think of who that is. Not Jake Allen. 4-1 Habs. Allen will be in nets. Listen, somebody asked me a question. You can answer it. As a Canadian, he asked me, how do we perceive Winnipeg? I answered with 2 words. You might not like the second one, but you're going to agree with the first one. Cold and boring. Now, I've never been there, and I said I don't know for sure, but that's what I hear, and that's my perception of it. How would you describe that, living in Winnipeg? Everybody, wish Automatic happy birthday. I don't know how old he is, but it's his birthday today, so let's hope the Habs win. Roblox has 6-1 Habs. Allen will stool the game again, but you got to give a goal scorer if you want to win the prize. We need the first goal scorer of the game and the score. Automatic, but hasn't he kind of always been that very streaky player? You know, I'm hoping this year we see less of the streak, but so far not. Habs fans have a happy birthday. They're very true. I should say that. Happy birthday, Automatic. It's just an automatic happy birthday. No, I know not that JA. I can't think of who the JA is. What? Jake Allen. It's not Jake Allen. It's Evans. I just said Jake Allen. You said no. What an idiot I can be sometimes. Wait a second. I'll get it. Why don't I have it? You know, you're saying Josh, because we were just talking about Josh, and it didn't even register. Awesome, no problem, Josh Anderson. Listen, he's been really close lately. I think there's a good chance that Andy scores today. Yeah, but Joe, I think they're going to do exactly that without going out and picking up other players. The competitiveness is what they want to instill in this team, right? That this team's going to, these players are going to be as competitive as they can, play as hard as they can, and do as well as they can, and learn from the experience. And going forward, when they are good enough to make the playoffs, they're going to be that much better, in my opinion. Mike Fisher. Hey, Mike Fisher. 4-3 Habs. Slav Squatch. Slavkov. What was our name for him? I don't remember anymore. I call him it's kind of gone away, but every now and then I think of him as Igor. Don't know why. Igor Slavkovsky. I've never been to the Peg, but it was the city where my best friend's family settled when they arrived in Canada. Nice. From the former Czech Republic. They talk glowingly about Winnipeg and the freedom here. Listen, I would think people who live there probably think I'm wrong when I say boring. I've never been there. But it's cold. I know I got that right. Winnipeg is cold as shit, but it's very affordable. And thank God in today's world, it's our consolation prize. Well, Montreal used to be that. And it probably still is along those lines compared to a lot of other cities, but it's changing real quick. It's changing. Roblox, didn't you give the guess already? Or did you have to change it because someone else had it? Nope, I got it already. Don't worry, it's registered. It's in the chat. You don't have to keep doing it till I say. It's registered. Now, one thing is interesting. Automatic didn't answer. I did say boring. He didn't deny that, though. He didn't really deny it. I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Slav Squatch is a cool nickname for Halloween. Maybe they'll do that. They don't have a game though. Game is in Vegas. So, but they do a lot of internet, social media stuff. So, hey Quinn, how you doing, man? Oh, we're getting near the end. We're already at an hour. Bob's your uncle. I think Winnipeg's one of those cities where when the team plays really well, they'll be there. When they're not as good, they're not going to be there in such, they're not selling out. I'm pretty sure Winnipeg. I mean, a lot of cities are like that. Montreal, not really. Toronto, no. Toronto sells out even if they put cows on the ice in skates. Well, that might actually be very interesting. So, but you know what I mean, right? Just put plugs out there and they still sell out. Who is the goalie today? The goalies today are confirmed: Jake Allen and Laurent Brossois. So it's Allen versus Brossois today, and that apparently is confirmed. I know Allen was confirmed. I saw that, and someone told me they saw that Brossois is confirmed on Sportsnet or somewhere like that. So it should be a very interesting game. That's a very interesting game. Montreal has the potential to win here, without a doubt. Let's see how they do. They're coming off of a good win, kind of a motivational win in the last game. And let's hope that momentum carries into this one. Roblox is not Hellebuck, but Hellebuck, has been a little better recent. Actually, I shouldn't say that. His first few games were not good, and his last few, Hellebuck's been better. So, yeah, you're right. It's good that it's not Hellebuck. Bob's your uncle. I think that's the same everywhere, though. Right now, it's not necessarily. How do I want to put that? Like by area, the economic situation is kind of bad everywhere, and I mean like everywhere on this planet. So I think everyone's going through that, but I think traditionally Winnipeg's been one of those cities that they don't go if the team's not doing well. Automatic says Winnipeg has a great music scene. Nice. Montreal used to. I don't know if we still considered that. Montreal used to be great for music. All the bands came here for shows, and I saw a lot of great shows. But I mean, local bands and stuff. Always a great music scene here. He says it's also a lot prettier than most would expect. Well, like I said, never been there, so I would imagine, not knowing everything about Winnipeg, I can come down on it like everybody does. But I've never been there. I don't know if any of that's true or how much of it's true. But I did give that as a qualifier when I gave my guess or my opinion. Is that what goes on in Toronto? Why they can be so goddamn quiet there? He says all the corporate guys in suits sit in the lower bowl, and they just don't. But I see a lot of fans in sweaters and with the flags and shit down in the bottom. Automatic, it's funny. Me and Matt had talked about this. I think we talked about it in the last show. I totally agree. If you get him at a cap-friendly deal, that's a good way to put it. Cap-friendly deal. I'd sign him for 6 years. He's young enough that if he has that great season, you're signing him for 6 years. You're going to get probably 4 really good ones out of that. It's not going to be a bad deal. It's not going to be like a bad deal like Gallagher's deal, right? As long as it's cap friendly, though, right? You can't go spend $7 million on him, but you could probably do 6, 5.5, 6 years. I'd sign Monahan if by the deadline, he's still producing and everything's well and he's healthy and all that. Yeah, 100%. He's young enough that you could do that still. Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here right at the beginning of them starting to get better. And you know what? Having a veteran like that, not a bad thing. I don't know what their plans are. Their plans might be different and he doesn't fit. I don't know. We don't know that. Bob's your uncle. I doubt Winnipeg has the corporate community that the big cities have, not Toronto. Listen, nobody who has the corporate community Toronto has. Probably maybe Vancouver. Montreal doesn't anymore. That's a good point. They're the only ones who can afford it. Hey, Drew, how's it going? How's your Oilers doing? Not great. Stopped in to hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hiding your face in shame so far. Yeah, listen, it's still young. Season's still young. Things can turn around, but I mean, it's not looking good right now there. I feel for you, dude. Believe me, we know what it's like. Rugby World Cup in rain. Nice. Makes it, like you said, a little more interesting, no? Also, probably, if you really are going from one team over another, could be very frustrating too, right? So, all right. I'm taking off because I'll be back at 7. Game time is 7 o'clock, so I'll be back right on the nose for 7. We'll talk a little bit before the game. And then I think Matt's joining me. I'm not 100% sure, but I should have at least a report from him for the Boston University game that he was at last night. So we'll have that. And then there's going to be a post-game show right after the game. We're going to do that. So please join us for that. Thanks, everybody, for being here at this time of the day. Appreciate that as well. It was really good. And I had a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun to do. Thanks, Bob's your uncle, for that great poem. That's well appreciated as well. So, yeah, please join us later. Till then, stay safe out there. And thanks for watching. Peace out and have a good afternoon. And we'll see you at game time. Till then, keep your stick on the ice. Go Habs, go. Have a good afternoon. Bye, everybody.